Welcome to Policing TV, where this is the second of three videos with Commissioner Pete O'Doherty of the City of London Police. Pete, again, thank you for joining us on Policing TV. Um, One of the key reasons that we're talking at this particular time, August 2025 indeed, is that the City of London Police has, or rather, His Majesty's Inspector of Constabulary Fire and Rescue Services, I'm going to abbreviate as HMIC, has recently published their latest inspection report on the City of London, which has come up with some pretty excellent um, uh, marks for the force. Now, you've been commissioner for a year. The year before that, you were temporary commissioner. Prior to that, I think you'd rejoined the city approximately 4 years in total before. So you, in essence, have been leading the force either in that core team or as its commissioner for those past roughly 4 years. It's a pretty impressive, a very impressive position that you are now in as a force. My suspicion is that you think it's possible to go still further. But tell us about that journey that you, the force, your leadership team, others, whether police officers, police staff, volunteers, have been on. Particularly bringing out any thoughts, any tips for others who might be watching this video that are embarking on their same or similar challenges for themselves and their teams.
Yeah, thank you, Bernard. And you are right. Although we of course celebrate the significant improvements that we have made as a force in the last 2 years, it is a step towards where I want us to be in the next 2 years, which is even more further forward. But let me answer your question. Bernard, have you heard of the McKinsey 7S model?
Yes, although please don't ask me what the seven S's are. I'll
Right.
struggle on that. Perhaps you can. But yes, I have
Yeah, so
heard of
in
it.
essence, every organization has 7 S's. It has a strategy, structure, systems. These are called hard elements. It then has soft elements called staff, style, and skills. And in the middle, you have shared values. And so how did we do this is by, first of all, making sure that we had a really good, compelling policing plan that spoke clearly to, not a lengthy document, a document you can interact with, where if you're a PC, an inspector, if you're a police staff manager, you know what your role is in delivering that strategy, first of all. Then making sure that we've got good structures and systems in place to enable delivery of the strategy. So that's good governance, holding to account, clear performance objectives. And this is sounding like the basic building blocks. But the magic dust in all of this is not the governance, the policies, the processes, structures and measures. It's the people. Because the people are the ones that have to navigate all of those hard elements and use them to great effect. And ultimately, it's the people, our biggest asset, that go out there and serve the public. So, first of all, making sure that I am proactive in attracting, recruiting, retaining, developing people from the outside in and developing and progressing the people into the right jobs internally, eradicating all forms of nepotism, making sure we have modern approaches to attracting people. So, for example, one thing we're beginning to do is to use a concept from Microsoft whereby if you want promotion, yes, you have to prove operational competence, but you've got to prove what you've done to develop and progress people around you. And at senior positions, people that you manage will get a say in your promotion because we do staff engagement panels, right? So modernizing all of that. The style. So my goodness, every Christmas we go out, all the chief officers go out and give every team a box of chocolates. When it's long service medals, we go out and give them the medals. I had all the cleaning services team I'm offering for coffee and cake to say, you are part of the policing mission. You are part of the team. We've got junior members of staff sitting on our most strategic governance boards so that I want junior staff to hold me to account on the decisions that I make that affect them. So cultural transformation, and at the heart of it all, shared values. Love, Bernard. A love for what we do, a love for serving, and a love for each other, respect, integrity. and really developing that feeling, that mission. And lastly, in the policing plan we launched in April, we've got a new strapline, go the extra mile. And what that means is we go above and beyond for each other, above and beyond for the public, but also because, although physically we're a square mile, our national work to transform the UK's response to fraud and cybercrime is beyond many hundreds and thousands of miles. And so having a clear brand and identity at a time when policing's tough, some people feel disconnected from the institution, all of that when it came together and delivering it for the last 2 years, it what led to our improvement.
I have the Policing Plan 25 to 28 going the extra mile in front of me at the moment. And one of the things that I would commend to our viewers is the policing plan on a page that you have. So sort of setting out very clearly your vision, your operational priorities, and organizational priorities, and so on. So that's in public domain. You go to the City of London Police website and you can readily access that. Um, now, that's that sounds reasonably straightforward. So you have a plan, you have a vision, you have values, you live and breathe those values. You listen to your team. Um, is it as simple as that, or does that rather simplistic summary on my part actually disguise some really hard work that has to go into this?
So Bernard, here's the irony. What is intellectually challenging and hard are the hard elements. Procuring the right technology, using automation, implementing streamlined governance, having clear measures so you can do accountability. That stuff is intellectually hard. Having a good budget. The softer stuff, which is more important, so the people, the kindness, the culture, that is not intellectually hard, but it's hard to do. I'll give you one quick example. In the summer just gone, we have the summer games. So tens of teams across the organisation compete in a day of sporting events. It's intrinsic to our offer on well-being and health. And I say to my chief officers, traditionally in policing, when chief officers want to engage the workforce, what happens? People get an invite, they come to the ivory tower, and we give them a cup of coffee. What we should be doing is engaging with our people on their terms. So I said to my chief officers, why don't we put a team into the summer games? We'll all don our shorts and T-shirts and we'll go and do it. None of them wanted to do it because of, well, if you're like on the board, I'm going to turn up in my shorts and T-shirts. I look vulnerable and I'm going to be there doing deadlifts and using the monkey bars and playing javelin. Oh, that feels totally wrong. But we do it now. It took some encouragement. It took some negotiations. And this is a silly example I'm giving you because it's not intellectually hard, but emotionally it is, because it goes against the grain of a hierarchical formal institution, polishing your shoes and being clean cut and everything else to go and do stuff like that. But that's where it matters, because all those people then are like, oh my God, they're being themselves. We can be ourselves. People that can be themselves come into work happy, and happy people don't go sick, don't put grievances in, and they work hard. And hard-working, happy people means we're productive, and productive organisation means the public benefits. So,
So,
yes.
so the soft elements are essential. Can be challenging because there may be some cultural change elements there. You mentioned some degree of reluctance amongst what I took to be your senior management team to chief officer group to do what you were suggesting. You sort of walk the walk, don't you? And so, for example, just a handful of days ago, you were on. I'm going to bring in the police unity tour here, um, because your legs must be aching. We'll come back in a moment to the uh, delivery of significant improvements in City of London Police. But tell us about the police unity tour, what you've just done, and indeed
Well,
what
Bernard,
others have just done. I shouldn't say it's just you; it's many, many others that have.
yeah, many others. And so, yeah, the Unity Tour, as many of the listeners and watchers will know, it's an extensive cycle ride in honour of fallen police officers. And I rode for, God rest his soul, Detective Inspector Ian Kelleher, who died of COVID in 2020. And the London chapter, it was a long ride from Lambeth to Milton Keynes day one, and then we went up to Staffordshire day two. And yes, my knees are still sore. But we raised over £280,000 for charity, which is Care of Police Survivors. So it's a really important deal. And yes, I'm not a cyclist. Was it painful? Yes. Did I enjoy it? Not massively. Did it mean a lot to people? Yes. And I just think that, and it sounds awfully perhaps a little bit cheesy, but you have to be the change you want to see. You have to practice what you preach. I can't require people to do this stuff if I'm not willing to do it myself. And I have to say, it did take a hit on my ego, Bernard. I was the only commissioner of the organisation who has done the Unity tour, who had to go in the support bus at the back because I couldn't cope with one of the hills. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm still getting over it. But kudos to Matt Jukes from the Met, who's done this 9 times, by the way. So respect to him.
My recollection, Matt Duke's Deputy Commissioner of
The Met, that's correct.
the Met, former Chief Constable at South Wales Police from memory. And so you're not the first, well, you'd be the first commissioner, but you're certainly not the first of the National Police Chief Council ranks to have done this. And there are many, and
Yeah,
huge respect to those,
yeah.
and to those also that are the fallen and their families who are an integral part of that police unity tour. Um, let's come back to the journey that the City of London has been on and is continuing on. So um, the uh, the HMIC FRS report, looking at the summary here, mentions City of London Police as outstanding on recording data about crime. And none of the categories, very often in these reports, you find that forces have areas requiring improvement or that are judged inadequate. There are no such areas for City of London. There are a handful that are judged as adequate, and I'm strongly suspecting that your City of London police officers and staff are mindful of that and already working away on that. So, what happens next? How do you find the energy? Let's use the police unity tour parallel. You've done it this year. How do you find the energy to go next year and the year after?
Well, um, although my knees will forever be saying no, my heart will forever be saying yes, because the spirit is willing and the flesh is weak, Bernard. So to answer your question, look, um, a few years ago, a guy came to me and goes, Pete, can you help me pass the superintendent's process? How do I get high scores? And I went, I won't teach you how to pass the superintendent process. I can teach you how to be a good superintendent. And once you become a good superintendent, you pass the process. So to answer your question, this won't just be about how do we get better scores next time. It's how do we keep evolving as an organization through that McKinsey framework, for example, so that inadvertently we do better in the inspection, because that inspection is scientifically designed, is very well delivered. So if we just focus on becoming the best we can be, the inspection should follow, right? And for me, the vision is reducing crime in the City of London. So the lowest crime in the country, but crime's increasing quickly here because there's increasing footfall and infrastructure. So reduce crime even more and make it the safest business district worldwide. Transform the UK's police response to fraud and cybercrime, and put victims at the heart of everything we do, whilst having a motivated, inspired, happy workforce. In a nutshell, that is it. And then, of course, the complexity around we need to be more data-led, we need to find efficiencies, we need to implement change more seamlessly. So that is very much the plan.
And that indeed reflected in the City of London policing plan that I mentioned a little earlier. Pete, as in video one, we've used a little more than the time that we'd allotted for this video as well. But so we do need to bring it to a close. We have one further video to record in a moment or two, which is going to be on the future of policing UK and internationally. And but just for the moment, can I thank you once again for joining us here on Policing TV and giving us your reflections on the journey, the successful journey that City of London Police has been on, may it long continue to be even more successful.
Thank you, Bernard.